Hello friends, good morning. So in last lecture we have concluded unit number 2, that is equilibrium. In equilibrium we have discussed different topics like general equilibrium, then equilibrium of beams loaded with different types of loads, and lastly we have discussed general friction, that is problems for the bodies which are resting on the inclined plane, as well as some numericals on based on the ladder friction that we have discussed. So today I will introduce the next unit, that is centroid. Uh, so the contents for this topic, we are going to cover what is center of gravity, center of mass, centroid, centroid of composite plane figures, centroid of one-dimensional elements. Composite plane figures means what? Just we have to consider two-dimensional elements. Okay, just lying in one particular plane. And second is one-dimensional element, that means is having only length, linear elements that we are going to consider. Okay, this is the scope of this particular unit. Now let us see what is a center of gravity, and this is very important, particularly for civil engineers as well as mechanical engineers. They should know this concept very well. Center of gravity is a point where the weight of body can be assumed to be acting, that is the point of application of Earth's gravitational force, that is called as a centroid. Now if you observe that we have seen the body is made up of number of particles, and every particle is attracted towards the Earth's surface proportional to the its mass. So these forces, if you consider the gravity forces, they are acting vertically downward, and the forces form a system of parallel forces. So for these parallel forces, if you find out the point through which the resultant of these gravity forces acts, that is called as a center of gravity. The point through which the resultant of these gravity forces will act, that is called as a gravity. For example, if you take any object like this, and if you see, if you keep your finger at a particular point, it will be in equilibrium like this. It will remain in equilibrium in a horizontal position. So that particular point is nothing but the center of gravity of this particular body or object. You will find it will tilt like this, it will tilt like this, but if you go on changing the position at a particular point, you will find it will remain stationary. That means that is the point for which the resultant mass of that particular body or object is acting, that is called as a center of gravity. Now center of mass, it is a point through which the total mass of the body is supposed to act regardless the orientation of the body in the space, that is called as a center of mass. So if you rotate the body like anything, but still through that single point only the entire mass will act, and that is called as a center of mass. Centroid is what? Centroid, this term is applicable to plane figures. It is a point through which the total area of the plane is supposed to act regardless the orientation of the body in the space. It's called as a centroid. If you take a paper and if you hold it like this, if you hold this paper like this, if you hold it like this, at a particular point it will remain stationary. It will remain like this. It will remain stationary at a particular point. So this point will be a centroid of that particular. So it is a point where the entire mass of the body is supposed to act or concentrated. Now center of mass, center of gravity and centroid, as long as the mass is uniformly distributed, they will coincide. If it is made up of the same type of material, all these three, center of gravity, center of mass and centroid, they will coincide. But suppose partly it is made up of steel, partly it is made up of wood, these center of gravity, center of mass and centroid, they will never coincide. So this you should be very clear to you. Now center of gravity for rods and wires, for example, for one dimensional element, you can suppose it is made up of number of lengths, length L1, L2, L3. So you can take L1, its x coordinate x1 plus L2 x2 plus L3 x3 divided by L1 plus L2 plus x3. Similarly, y length, that is ydl, xdl or ydl. Here also L1 y1, L2 y2, L1 y1 plus L2 y2 plus L3 y3 divided by L1 plus L2 plus L3. Like this you can find out the x and y coordinate. For plane lamina, here you can take areas. Area A1 x1 plus area A2 x2 plus A3 x3 divided by A1 plus A2 plus A3. Similarly, here area A1 y1 plus A2 y2 plus A3 y3 divided by area A1 plus A2 plus A3, because it is a composite lamina. So these simple equations which we are going to use, the Z is not applicable because we are considering only two-dimensional element in the first year. That you will do it in when you will go for the higher class. Okay. Now, to find out the centroid of the composite figure, composite meaning of composite you try to understand. It may be made up of some regular figures, like part of it is a rectangle, part of it is a triangle, part of it is a semicircle, part of it is a quarter circle. In that case, you should know the centroid of regular figures, centroid of the regular figures. I will take some examples. For example, let us take this rectangle. Size of rectangle, width, length is b and height is h. And I will consider this corner O as a coordinate system x and y. So what is the area of this? B into h, isn't it? What will be the x? You know where the centroid of the rectangle lies. If you join the diagonal, the intersection of the diagonal, this point is a centroid of the rectangle. So x coordinate, how we will calculate x coordinate? This point, you just draw a line parallel to y-axis where it will intersect to x-axis. It will intersect to x-axis at a distance of b by 2, and that's why x coordinate is b by 2. Similarly, through this point you draw a line parallel to x-axis. It will intersect to y-axis at what distance? H by 2. So y coordinate is h by 2. Now let us come this triangle, right angle triangle. You see, right angle triangle. The size is b and h. So you know the area of triangle 1/2 b into h. Very simple. But the centroid of the triangle, you see, you must have seen in your mathematics, if this is the origin, from this 90-degree angle, x coordinate is at a distance of 1/3 of base. So 1/3 of base is b by 3, and y coordinate will be 1/3 of h. 1/3 of h. This is a y coordinate. You have to remember this table. There is no option, otherwise you can't solve the problems on centroid. Next is, you take what I can say, equilateral triangle, both side. Okay, total length is b, and it is symmetrical about this axis. If you join this, it is symmetrical. Area is same, b by h. Now for this symmetrical triangle, x coordinate, you see, this is the point of centroid, and that's why x coordinate is b by 2 and y coordinate is h by 3. If you take a full circle, and this is origin coordinate system, I will assume like this. This is the coordinate system I will assume. Radius is r. So you know area of circle plane figure is pi into r square. Now, as usual, the centroid of the circle is its center itself. So from center, if you draw a vertical line where it will intersect at a distance r, that's why x coordinate is r. If you draw a horizontal line, it will intersect to y-axis at a distance r. So y coordinate is r. Now, if I assume the coordinate system at the center itself, this is x-axis and this is y-axis. So both these coordinates x and y, they will become 0. Now let us take a semicircle, half circle. So this is the center of the this point is the center. This is the center of the circle. Okay. So this distance is r, this distance is r. I will take this base as a x-axis and this as a y-axis. This is the origin. So semicircle, full circle area is pi r square, so half circle pi r square by 2. Now this is the centroid of the semicircle. If I draw a vertical line, it will intersect at a distance r, and that's why x coordinate is r. And y coordinate, if you draw a horizontal line, it will intersect to y at a distance that is 4r upon 3 pi. Now you will question me from where you brought this term 4r upon 3 pi. Standard books, the derivation is given. Centroid of semicircle, y coordinate is 4r by 3 pi. And if I rotate this circle, if I draw it like this, and base is touching to y axis, then x coordinate will become 4r by 3 pi and y coordinate will become r. This you should not forget. Okay. For quarter circle, if it is a quarter circle, only quarter circle, then area will be 1/4 pi r square by 4. Radius is same, and this is the centroid. So for quarter circle, x and y coordinates are 4r by 3 pi, 4r by 3 pi for quarter circle. Now for a circular sector, just a sector, small segment we have cut like this on a plain paper. This angle is alpha, this angle is alpha, and the sector is symmetrical about x-axis, remember. So CG, centroid, this point centroid will be lying on the x-axis itself. You know, when the body is symmetrical, the centroid lies on the axis of symmetry. So for this circular sector, total area is alpha r square alpha or alpha r square. This you have to remember. And since it is symmetrical about x-axis, y coordinate is 0. Y coordinate is 0, and x coordinate from origin, distance of centroid up to this point will be r sin alpha by alpha, 2/3 of r sin alpha by alpha. This you should not forget. You see, you have to write this table 5 times, 10 times, unless you are perfect and you remember this table, it is not possible to solve the numerical problems. So this is about plane lamina. Now coming to the one-dimensional element. One-dimensional, just you can take a thread or you can take a wire. These are the one-dimensional elements, or rope, or you can take wire also, cycle spoke, like that. These are the one-dimensional elements. So let us take a line, this line. So I want to find out the total length of the line is L. Total length of the line is L, and angle made by the line with x-axis is theta. So what will be the length? Instead of area, now we will call it length. Length is L. Now for this wire, where will be centroid? At a half distance, L by 2. Okay, this centroid. And if I project it on x-axis by drawing a vertical line from O to B, the distance is L by 2 cos theta. And if I draw horizontal line, it will intersect to y-axis. Vertical distance will be L by 2 sin theta. So L by 2 cos theta and L by 2 sin theta. These are the coordinates of a line element. Now if I take this angle, then this will become sin theta and this will become cos theta. Only these are the changes. Okay. Now for segment of a arc, you see, just a wire is bent into a shape of a arc, and it is symmetrical about x-axis. So as usual, centroid lies on the axis of symmetry. This is the point where the centroid, this angle is alpha, this angle is alpha. So length is, you know, this length is r alpha and this is also r alpha, you know this. So total length will be 2 times r alpha, and it is symmetrical about x-axis, so y coordinate is 0, and the distance of centroid along x-axis from this point up to O is r sin alpha by alpha, r sin alpha by alpha. So how we will remember this r sin alpha by alpha? For plane figure, what is r sin alpha by alpha? 2/3. Whereas for wire it is r sin alpha by alpha. And if you make it 2/3, this will become the coordinate for lamina, segment of arc, and this will become for circular sector, and this is for segment of a arc, r sin alpha by alpha. So I hope you understand all these formulas. You see this complete table 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and these 2, so 7 plus 2 9. You have to remember this table. There is no other substitute. You write it 5 times, 10 times, or you put it, just prepare a table and just paste in your room, read again and again, so that when I will start the numerical problems tomorrow, you will not face any problem. Thank you very much. In the next class I will start the numerical examples on centroid. Thanks. Okay.